is what your actions are doing is causing harassment, alarm, distress.
Oh, you're bringing that one on me now, yeah?
Not only to the ambulance workers, but also to the people in the back of the ambulances. So you've got to think about
if there's somebody in that ambulance, mate,
right?
why did they
and there's certain privacy, isn't there? And there you are recording people when they're trying to do their job.
What, on the phone?
Right?
She wasn't doing a very good job, mate. She's on the phone, issue.
Okay. Alright then, people, so it looks like these constables are saying you are causing somebody harassment, alarm and distress by standing there filming them using a mobile phone while behind the wheel of a ambulance or car or whatever. The funny thing is, if that's the trick they like to use with every single person filming when they don't like them doing it, they say you're causing people harassment, alarm and distress, you shouldn't be doing it, blah, 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 blah. Well, that guy's trainers caused me harassment, alarm and distress. It's alarming that he's walking about in, pink trainers. Quite distressing that he's got blue laces with his pink trainers. You know, it's absolutely pathetic that they use that argument. So let's just get straight into this video. We're looking at Auditing You Next. I haven't watched any of his videos for quite some time, actually, a couple of months, I believe. But let's just get straight into it.
Yeah, mate, yeah. What's it look like I'm doing? What's it look like I'm doing? I'm videoing. I'm videoing.
What are you doing around here? It's a private area.
No, it's not. Who are you?
I'm police.
No, it sounds too close to me. It's just not a private area. I've just walked down there, so I can be private.
What are you recording?
I was recording her on the phone with the engine running, which is illegal. 6 points on your licence.
Is it?
Yeah.
Thanks for giving me the law.
Yeah, yeah.
So what are you going to do with it then?
Well, I'm going to report it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, we're the police, so if you want to report it to us,
Well, just have
we'll
reported
take it down. Let's, do you want to show us the footage and everything then?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Right.
Is that your police car?
Yeah, it's...
Oh, nice undercover car.
Cheers. So you show me the video then?
Yeah.
Why do you need the number plate for it?
Well, just make sure you're the police.
Well,
I'm going to check your insurance.
You can check my insurance?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know whether I've got any insurance.
Oh, probably not.
Stop shouting at me. Why are you recording?
Why not?
Just asking you. What is this conversation about?
Been on the phone.
Okay. And what was I explaining to you? So why do you feel it necessary to record me?
Why not? I'm in public.
Okay.
It's not a private area.
All right. What about my privacy?
Well, you're a police officer, so you'd have privacy, really, aren't you?
Don't know.
You're out in public, so there's no privacy in public.
Right, okay. You're trying to get me colour numbers, ain't got any on.
Tom Hunt, Detective Sergeant, 1762.
Mm.
Yeah. So what are you going to do about it? Nothing.
So if you'd have let me explain before you shout at me.
Just what DS is trying to say, but the actual definition of the use of a handheld mobile phone in motor vehicles under the regulation 110 of the Road Vehicles of the Regulations 1986 Act. Definition is no person shall drive a motor vehicle on a road if he is using a handheld mobile telephone or a handheld telephone device of any kind specified in paragraph 4, which is a device referred to in paragraphs 1B, 2B and 3B is a device other than two-way radio which performs an interactive communication.
Yeah, I can understand the radio, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a phone.
Sorry. So as a person is not contrary provisions of this regulation at the time of the alleged contravention. Basically, in layman's terms, what it's saying is,
I've read the law, mate. I know what it says.
as long as, and I'm just letting you know, so the point to prove is a person who uses a handheld mobile telephone whilst driving or supervising a provisional licence holder driving a motor vehicle on a road, or who causes a person to use a handheld mobile telephone whilst driving a motor vehicle on a road whilst driving.
Yeah, but it also says when you're parked up, your engine must be off.
Okay, that doesn't.
Yes, it does.
So
I don't know what section of law you're reading, but that's what it says in
I'll
the law.
just explain it to
You must switch your engine off.
As long as there's an engine, as long as one, the gear is in neutral or park if you're an automatic driver, and the handbrake is on, whether that's manually on or automatically on, you're allowed to. Because as far as the law and the government see it, that vehicle is stationary and shall not be moved unless two specific things.
How do you know she won't go drive off?
One, it's put in gear because they're saving lives. Why they've got a patient in the back who's
but if there's a patient in the back, mate, why haven't both got out of the ambulance and left it?
Right. What about?
Okay then, so this constable did say exactly what the law is on handheld devices, but what he is saying, how it is done, it's what he's saying is basically, as you heard him, as long as your car is in park or in neutral and the handbrake is up, you can use your device. Now, every time I come up to a set of traffic lights, I put my handbrake on and I take my car out of gear. Does that then mean I can use my mobile phone because I am no longer driving that vehicle? No, wrong. You are not parked. So what auditingyounext was saying, it's not in the law, it's in the highway codes. One of you will be able to pull it up the first one to pull it up in the comments with a link to the actual highway code, or write it out. I will pin your comment so it's right up at the top for everybody to see. But in there there's a whole section about parking, where to park, how to park correctly. So that constable's definition of driving means every time you come up to a set of traffic lights and you put your handbrake up and take it out of gear, you are no longer driving. That's what he said. Because it's a bit of a stupid way for him to explain it. Because he said as long as your car is not moving, and for those in automatic, put it in park, because you obviously don't have a neutral, put it in park and your handbrake's up, you're no longer driving. But like I said, I do that at every set of traffic lights if I know the traffic lights are gonna take forever. So by his definition, I could then pick up my mobile phone and use it, which is completely wrong. You cannot do that because you are in control of a motor vehicle. Being in control of the motor vehicle is being behind the wheel of that vehicle. Now, the funny thing is, and with the engine on, the funny thing is, you can get done for drink driving even though you're not actually driving, just by sitting in the vehicle. So, behind the wheel of the vehicle and having the keys on you can get done for it. So just be careful, because this constable's definition of driving is completely wrong.
If there's somebody in the back, can you see in the back?
Yeah, but why are you...
No, listen. Can you see in the back?
Yeah, but why have you left it?
Can you see in the back
Of course
of
I can't see in the back, it's closed off,
Well,
isn't it?
then you don't know what's going on in the back of the vehicle,
if there's somebody in the back of that vehicle, why have they both walked out then?
Because there's obviously somebody in the back of the vehicle, isn't there?
Yeah,
and
probably
the
a
reason
patient,
why
if
the
it's
engine has
patient
to be
then.
on is for the auxiliary power.
I understand all that,
to use the
but you're not allowed to use your phone.
life-saving
You're not allowed to
equipment.
use your phone.
But it's not being driven, is it? The engine is running to allow for the auxiliary power of that vehicle.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to use your phone while you're engine.
Why are you shaking, buddy? You're shaking a little bit. Is that adrenaline? Are you nervous? Or...
Yeah, probably adrenaline, mate.
Okay. I'm just checking.
Because I'm getting surrounded.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. That's it.
I was going to say, obviously, you apparently know the law a little bit better than what we do.
Yeah, I do.
Can you show me where it says that we need
Oh, no, I'm recording, mate.
Okay, well, it's irrelevant then, isn't it?
Yep.
If you can't show me it's right, I'm right, you're right, I'm wrong, you're wrong.
I know, because I've caught the police out before, and as soon as you catch the police out, they throw the phone on the floor like that, so you can't see them doing it.
Okay, right. But even us as police, so what you're saying then is if I'm sat beside the road and I'm on my radio,
No, the radio's different, isn't it?
trying to get hold of, or now we have
Yeah, but you have a police phone, don't you?
specific mobile phone.
Thingy phone, isn't it?
Yeah.
A job phone.
So if I'm using this whilst I'm in an incident,
Yeah.
technically I'm breaking the law.
Not on the job phone.
So what's the difference between a mobile phone and a job phone?
I'd never make this law up, mate, but I know for a job phone is completely different because sometimes you're in an emergency situation and you've got to do that.
Okay. So I think sometimes, because these guys have the same work phones, the job phones.
It wasn't a job phone, mate. She was texting someone.
I think you need to. Just revise the law a little better.
Yeah, I'll look at it again tonight, but that's what it says.
Okay then, so I'll tell you the difference. The emergency service, that is police, ambulance, fire service, are exempt from certain road traffic laws and rules as long as they are working in the capacity of their job. So that is attending an emergency where the lights and that are on. Because when the lights are on, you see them driving on the wrong side, going through red lights. That's because they're exempt, and that also means they're exempt from wearing seatbelts and using a mobile phone. Because the radio in the law does say you can't use a radio communication device, but the police are exempt as long as they are working. And that also goes for ambulance and fire service. So as long as they're in the active duty of their work, they are exempt, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely fine recording. You've not got an issue with recording, but as far as they're concerned, that bit's private.
Yeah, well, I didn't go in there.
You're obviously recording something.
I stood on that W line there.
Which W line?
You don't want to stand on the yellow line. You might get run over.
I doubt it.
Footpath.
There's nothing comes down here.
Really?
Yeah, probably old ambulance now and again.
There's been a lot of traffic.
What, one or two cars?
But the other thing you've got to think about is what your actions are doing is causing harassment, alarm, distress.
Oh, you're bringing that one in now, yeah?
Not only to the ambulance workers, but also to the people in the back of the ambulances. So you've got to think about
if there's somebody in the ambulance, mate,
right?
why did they
and there's certain privacy, isn't there? And there you are recording people when they're trying to do their job.
What, on the phone?
Right?
She wasn't doing a very good job, mate. She's on the phone, issue.
And it's also been reported as well that the boss here, the inspector here,
Inspector who?
has said, I don't know, if the one who's got picked, I don't know if it's different ranks, I know in our...
You mean Inspector of the hospital or something?
Pretty much, paramedic, whoever runs the paramedic section.
Oh, yeah.
They've said this has occurred, what, 2-3 days now? 3 days this has happened?
3 days?
Apparently so. Which, in the law's eyes, it's occurred more than 3 days, reoccurring.
What, you mean it's happened 3 days on the trot? 3 days on the trot, is that what
I don't know, it's just said within the past 3 days.
No, I haven't been around here 3 days, mate. For a start, it's been bank holiday this week, and I was on holiday.
You do bank holidays?
No, I'm on holiday.
Okay then, so what he's saying is it's going to use the Protection of a Harassment Act of 1997. It's up to date here, which is this. This is the relevant sections right here.
1. A person must not pursue a course of conduct. A. Which amounts to harassment of another, and B. Which he knows or ought to know amounts to harassment of the other. F1. 1A. A person must not pursue a course of conduct. A. Which involves harassment of 2 or more persons, and B. Which he knows or ought to know involves harassment of those persons, and C. By which he intends to persuade any person, whether or not one of those mentioned above, I. Not to do something that he is entitled or required to do, or 2. To do something that he is not under any obligation to do.
So if you go by this definition alone, amount to harassment, which he ought to know, amounts to harassment. So recording somebody, I don't believe it. It's harassment. It could be classed as harassment if he pursues that course of action to somebody. But this here is very interesting, isn't it? This little section here, because in this what the police do to auditors and that lot all of the time.
Not to do something that he is entitled or required to do, or 2. To do something that he is not under any obligation to do.
So they tell you to not record, but you're entitled to do it. So if it happens more than twice or 3 times, they're pursuing a course of a course which could deem as harassing. Now, they also tell you under Section 50, you're obliged to give them the entitled to your details and all that sort of stuff. So, if I'm honest, I'm surprised they didn't use that section and not this one.
So it's any business day.
Why don't you join the police then if you want to stick people on for this?
Underpaid.
Underpaid?
Yeah.
What are you doing for a job that's so better paid than us?
Yeah, definitely.
What do you do then?
What do you do?
Construction. It's a lot better paid than this.
So what's your name then, bud?
No, no, finished. Huh?
What's your name?
None of your business.
Right.
I don't give names out.
There.
I only came out here to just move back.
Yeah, no, that's right, mate. Right.
Where are you from, mate? Peterborough?
Yeah, Thornwood.
Oh, I know that place.
Yeah. Yeah.
I made a complaint about somebody. I got assaulted one day.
Okay.
I went down there and nothing's happened from like 6 weeks ago.
Alright. What happened there?
And they will give me no crime number or anything.
What happened there?
Nothing.
Oh.
Nothing up at all.
Oh, okay.
So I videoed the place.
Okay. Yeah. As I said, we've not got an issue with you recording. You're well within your rights to record. I mean, exactly the same as us. If my body camera was on, I'll tell you I was recording.
Yeah,
It's
normally you
not.
can see the light, can't you?
Yeah, it's not. Otherwise, I would have told you it was on.
Just one thing. What's that LED light for?
LED light. So, for example, when I'm in dark places, it's just a case of I can see.
Oh, is that bright?
Yeah.
Right.
So I know the thing is, it's not too bad. But yeah. Obviously, any issues, just be aware. Should you go any closer to the ambulances, or ambulances do park here.
Yeah, I understand that.
To
Yeah.
work on somebody, just try not to get involved. Simply because we'll be called, and obviously you've got breach of the peace, obstruction, all that sort of stuff. So it's just not worth it.
The thing is, your actions has caused a lot of people to come out and try and work out what you're doing.
Yeah, but aren't
Right.
people seen people filming in the streets
You're
before?
people, aren't you?
Not much of gentlemen, they're all over there.
It's because they're worried about you.
Yeah. Worried about me?
Mm.
Why would they worried about me? I'm not filming.
Because you just videoed them randomly.
That's what people do, randomly video.
Do they?
Just be careful as well, because not only has it taken, I think, 5 to 8 paramedics over there, you've also got 3 police officers that are trying to deal with a serious incident. You're starting to use resources as well, so you just don't want to become a public nuisance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see how busy it gets around here for police, especially on that front bench.
All right, mate.
Yeah, you have a nice day then. Cheers.
Yeah.
Okay then, so what do you think of that interaction? I already said what I thought of this interaction throughout this video. The police was right with what he read out about using a mobile phone. His definition of driving is completely wrong, because his definition means you can actually stop at lights while waiting for the traffic lights to change, as long as you're not in gear and your car's in. Yeah, you've got your handbrake up, you can use your mobile phone, which is completely wrong. You try that, they'll fine you, guaranteed. And then them going on about harassment. I already said what I think about that. It could be deemed as harassment if you're using your video to harass. But if it's happened to several different people along different times, could it be harassment? It could be. Under the CPS might have a case to charge you with harassment. But it works the other way around as well, doesn't it? Because you see the same police constables in hundreds of videos over the internet harassing photographers, auditors, and you've also seen them go up to like news reporters and do the same thing about filming, which could be classed as harassment by the definition of harassment. But all this is just my opinion. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this interaction. As always, like the video, it does help in YouTube's algorithm, and I'll catch you on the next one.